gosh, you called George Bush a lying bastard. Well, I'm sorry for the bastards that might be offended by that. But I just got back from Amman, Jordan, and it's not imaginable what our country has put those people through. It's not imaginable what our country has put my family, the Arredondos, the Lucy family through. You can't imagine it. It's not imaginable. Look at our environment. It's quickly going away from us. We need to all stand up and tell the truth, and if we have to say bastard or shit, then we have to say that, because that's what these guys are putting us through. And so we went to John Conyers' office on the 23rd of July. And on July 10th, we left Crawford, Texas, and I said, if Nancy Pelosi doesn't put impeachment back on the table, by the time we get to Washington, D.C. on the 23rd, I'm going to run against her. And she didn't put it on the table, so I'm running against her. How? How can somebody who has sworn to defend the Constitution take part of the Constitution off the table? And how can they legitimize and legalize George Bush's crimes? Right before they slunk off to their vacation, they made it legal for George Bush to spy on us without warrants. How are we ever going to hold them accountable if they keep on legitimizing his regime? We elected them in November of '06 to be an opposition party finally. John Conyers would tell me I can't impeach because we're in the minority. Well, he did more for impeachment when he was in the minority. He wrote a book called Constitution in Crisis. He had an impeachment resolution when they were a minority. Now they're not. They're the majority. And if they use the thing that they don't have the votes, well, how do you know? How do you know you don't have the votes if you don't put it out there for people to vote on? Describe Dick Cheney. But he has said he's not part of the executive branch. They have said they don't have to obey subpoenas. And Dennis has HRS 333 to impeach Dick Cheney when Dick Cheney said that 435 Congress members should have supported that resolution. It doesn't matter. It's not about partisan politics. It's about people dying. It's about 70,000 Iraqis fleeing their homes every month. It's about children, women, young women who have to prostitute themselves in Syria so they can feed their families. It's about people dying. It's about a region destroyed by depleted uranium. It's about our soldiers not getting taken care of. It's not about who says bastard and who says shit. It's about people dying. And John Conyers told me, we took 1 million signatures to him. We took 300 people lining the halls by his office saying, we want impeachment. And this was all put together in a week. And he had calls, one call every 30 seconds demanding impeachment. And he said, I can't do it. And I said, you're our representative. You don't work for Nancy Pelosi. You don't work for the Democratic Party. You work for the people of America, especially your constituents. And I said, if you don't listen to the will of the people, then we have no recourse. And he said, yes, you do. Vote out the enablers in '08. Well, we have to vote them all out because they're all enablers. Except for a handful that have signed on HRS 333. What are they afraid of? George Bush has approval ratings of Nixon. What are they afraid of? Millions of people want accountability. What are they afraid of? What's going to happen to them? You know what they're afraid of? They're afraid of they won't get the White House in 2008. That's what John Conyers told me. It's more important to have a Democratic president than to end the war. Well, not to millions of Iraqis. Not to millions of Americans. It's not more important to have a Democratic president. They're all bought and paid for by the same people anyway. That's why we need someone like Dennis as our president. Because it's not about unseating a Republican. It's about changing the entire system that the Democrats are part of also. It's about organized people, not about organized money. And it's about time they know they represent us. And they don't represent Halliburton and Bechtel and Standard Oil and APAC. They represent us. And I'm not only going to run against Nancy Pelosi, I'm going to beat her. She has approval ratings in San Francisco like George Bush. And we're in America, we're ready for a change. And I don't think this is just me against Nancy Pelosi. It's America against the enablers that keep us in these wars. And the only way we're ever going to have true and lasting peace is if we do challenge the system. It's not good enough to impeach George Bush and Dick Cheney, although that will be very satisfying. What we have to do after they're impeached and moved from office is put them in prison. And then we have to tell the next president that he or she will not be able to get away with these crimes against humanity. So thank you all for coming today.